At a poly meetup, my girlfriend lied about polyamory, just to sleep around without guilt, then gaslit me saying, "It's not cheating, it's polyamory, and you have to accept it." I said, "I'm willing to learn." I found someone real, brought her home, and introduced my new partner. Her face went pale when I said, "Sister wife." "I'm not cheating, Nolan. It's called polyamory. You need to grow up and accept it." That's what Reagan told me on a random Tuesday night while she folded my laundry like she was talking about the weather. We'd been together for 4 years. I'm 32 now, a project lead for a logistics company in Everett, Washington. My entire life is about planning, evaluating risks, coordinating resources, and ensuring deadlines are met. I live in the real world. Reagan? She's a 30-year-old digital illustrator. She lives in vibes, passion, and apparently open relationships, one she never actually told me about until I caught her mid-transition from monogamous girlfriend to enlightened free spirit. We live together in a 2-bedroom condo I bought 5 years ago. She moved in a year into the relationship. I never asked her to pay rent, just chip in for groceries and utilities, which she rarely did without reminding me she was between big commissions. Looking back, I should have seen the warning signs. 3 months before the bomb dropped, she started working with a new marketing firm. The creative director, some guy named Cruz, was apparently a genius who pushed boundaries. Suddenly, she was coming home late with paint on her clothes and that glowy, floaty look women get when they're in love, or at least obsessed. There was a new perfume I didn't buy her, lingerie I hadn't seen before, and a password on her phone that she used to leave face up on the table. Then last week, she left her laptop open while she showered. A messenger tab was active. I'm not proud of snooping, but when I saw the name Cruz and the message preview read, "Still tasting you from this morning, face blowing a kiss," I clicked. What followed was a rabbit hole of texts, photos, and detailed fantasies they were planning together, including how and when she was going to introduce me to the lifestyle. Apparently, I was the stable one, the one she relied on emotionally and financially. He was the creative energy. Their plan was for her to continue living here while they explored freedom together. The worst part? There was a name I didn't recognize. Benji, a third party. From what I read, Cruz wasn't even her only partner. Reagan had a whole roster. I sat on the couch for an hour with the screen still open, just processing the level of audacity. When she walked in that evening, glowing from whatever creative breakthrough she'd had, I didn't say a word. I waited until she set her purse down. "Nolan," she said, "I think I finally cracked the new project. Cruz was amazing today." "Yeah," I said, stone-faced. "You also cracked monogamy, huh?" Her face lost all color, but only for a second. Then she rolled her eyes. "Don't be so dramatic," she said, as if I'd just overreacted to a spilled drink. I read the messages. I know about Cruz, and Benji, and the others. She crossed her arms. "Okay, wow, you invaded my privacy? Great. But since it's out in the open, yes, I'm polyamorous. I didn't know how to tell you because I knew you'd react like this." "Like what?" "Like someone who just found out his girlfriend is sleeping with other people and didn't think to tell him." "It's not cheating, Nolan. It's ethical non-monogamy. I've been reading, talking to people. Cruz gets it. He supports me. You should too." She was dead serious. "You can't just redefine betrayal because you read a blog post." She shook her head and smiled in that patronizing way that made my skin crawl. "If you love me, you'll support my growth. This is the future. Traditional relationships are outdated. Monogamy is possessive." That's when something inside me shut off. Not out of rage, not even heartbreak. I just realized I'd been managing a failing project with a lying stakeholder who'd already chosen to abandon the plan. So I did what I do best. I ran the numbers, scoped the risk, and developed a strategy. "Okay," I said. Her eyes lit up. "Okay, you're right. I've been narrow-minded. Maybe it's time I evolved too." She smiled so wide I thought her face would crack. "Nolan, I knew you'd understand. You're amazing. This could make us stronger. Send me those links," I said. "I'll do my homework." She kissed me on the cheek. "Cruz and I are going to poetry reading tonight. But tomorrow, we could talk more. We'll build our new life together." She walked out like she was starring in some indie romance film. She had no idea I was already outlining my revenge. I scrolled back through the thread and found a link to a local polyamory meetup. Tomorrow night. Perfect. Then I opened another chat. One I hadn't touched in years. Samantha Ortiz. College friend. Regional actress. Trained in emotional improv. Sharp as broken glass and absolutely loves chaos when used for good. Meh. Some. Random question. How do you feel about polyamory? Also, you free tomorrow night? Her response came less than a minute later. Sam, tell me when to show up and how hard to swing the wrecking ball. What would you do if your partner hit you with a surprise polyamory bomb? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and comment what city you're watching from. The next twist is coming. For the next 24 hours, I buried myself in polyamory blogs, YouTube channels, and Reddit threads like a man studying for the most insane final exam of his life. I wasn't just gathering intel. I was learning the exact language Reagan used, so I could weaponize it. Compersion, primary anchor, kitchen table poly, new relationship energy, radical honesty. I made a list of terms and how she'd use them. I highlighted the hypocrisy in her messages. The next evening, I dressed casually but sharp. Sam wore a boho chic floral dress and layered necklaces. Her free spirit disguise, she called it. We grabbed coffee nearby before the meetup and rehearsed. She wants a kitchen table polycule? Sam asked, sipping her chai. I'll bring the whole damn dining room. She's expecting me to learn and be enlightened, I said. She wants openness and honesty? She's about to choke on both. We walked into the meetup, held in a community center just outside downtown Everett. And it was exactly what I expected. A circle of folding chairs, snacks on a long table, a whiteboard with hand-drawn hearts. The vibe was less orgy and more book club hosted by your divorced aunt. I didn't tell anyone my real reason for being there. I just listened, asked questions, nodded when someone mentioned how decentralizing commitment can be freeing. Sam kept it playful, laughing in all the right places, mentioning how she and I just clicked spiritually. On our way out, we ran into the host, a tall woman with a shaved head and a nose ring, who said, "You two give off serious compersion energy." Sam winked. It's our first week. We're just getting started. The trap was set. Reagan came home early. She smelled like a mix of sandalwood and sweat, and her cheeks were flushed. You look peaceful, I said, setting down the book I hadn't been reading. We had a yoga session at Cruz's studio, she said, hanging up her bag. It's incredible how much clarity I've gotten since I embraced the lifestyle. I'm so glad you're open to this now. I nodded. I actually went to the meetup. She paused. You did? Yep. Learn a lot. Met someone. Her eyes sparkled. Actually sparkled. Oh my God. Nolan. That's amazing. See? I told you. Isn't it freeing? Very. And I'm really glad you said you want honesty. That's going to come in handy. Just then, the doorbell rang. Reagan turned. Are we expecting someone? I smiled. Yep. I opened the door. Sam stepped in like she was floating. Her energy was sunshine and smoke. She held a potted succulent in one hand and a small tote bag over her shoulder. Hi. She beamed, extending her hand. You must be Reagan. It's so great to meet you. Nolan's told me everything. Reagan stared at her like someone had just served her dog food on a silver platter. I brought a peace plant, Sam said, holding up the succulent. It's symbolic. Growth and healing. Sam and I really hit it off at the meetup, I said, slipping an arm around her. You could say the new relationship energy is strong. Sam looked around. So, is this the kitchen table setup? Or are you more in a parallel? Either way, I'm down. Reagan blinked. I wait. Nolan, what is this? This is my other partner, I said casually. Since you and Cruz are building something, I thought I'd explore too. Equal dynamics and all. You brought someone into our home. It's my condo, remember? I said, you're a guest here, and I'm allowed to have guests, right? But this is supposed to be about understanding and gradual integration. Sam gasped. Oh no, did I skip a step? I thought this was full transparency. You can't be serious, Reagan snapped. This isn't what polyamory means. Oh, I tilted my head. I thought polyamory meant multiple loving relationships, honesty, respect, and support. You told me that. I even have the texts. You're mocking me, she hissed. No, I'm matching you, I replied. Sam stepped forward. I brought cinnamon rolls for tomorrow morning. We could all do breakfast together, talk about boundaries. I read in one of the articles you sent Nolan that polycules function best with shared rituals. Reagan looked like she was about to explode. I want her out, she said, shaking. Can't do that, I said. You're not the leaseholder. And Sam's not doing anything different than what you did with Cruz. This is insane, Reagan shouted. You're not poly. You're just being petty. Maybe, I said, or maybe I'm just catching up to your level of enlightenment. She stormed to the door. You haven't heard the last of this. I hope not, Sam called out cheerfully. We still need to set up our cuddle-puddle schedule. Slam. Sam and I stood in silence for a beat. Then she doubled over laughing. That was art, she said between gasps. 10 out of 10. I grinned for the first time in days. Rehearsal was fun, but this was better. You okay? She asked, her face softening. No, I admitted, but this is a start. She squeezed my hand. Let me know when you want to stage Act 2. The silence in the condo after Reagan left was delicious. It felt like I kicked out a thunderstorm and opened the windows. For 2 days, I heard nothing from her. I assumed she was holed up with Cruz, re-strategizing. But I underestimated how deeply she believed in her own moral superiority. That Sunday, it began. 24 missed calls. Then the texts. What you did was disgusting. You humiliated me in my own home. You don't understand what polyamory is. She's not a real partner. You're mocking the community. You're a sad, jealous little boy playing pretend. You were supposed to be my anchor. That last one, that's the one that got me. Anchor. That's what she called me. Her emotional home base while she floated around from Cruz to Benji to God knows who else. I was the dock. She was the sailboat. But the moment I tried to untie myself, suddenly I was the villain. I responded once. You can't be poly for you and mono for me. That's not a lifestyle. That's narcissism with a rebrand. She didn't respond to that, but I wasn't naive enough to think it was over. I was halfway through bagging up some of her art supplies when the doorbell rang. Fast, aggressive pounding. I checked the peephole. Reagan and Cruz. Great. I opened the door with the security chain still latched. Nolan, bro, Cruz started, palms up like some discount therapist. We need to talk. There's been a breakdown in communication. I stared at his knit cardigan and man bun and felt my blood pressure spike. No, Cruz. The communication has been perfectly clear. Reagan slept with you while living in my home. I brought in my own partner. Now she's mad. That's the whole story. This isn't how ethical poly works, Cruz said, using that patronizing tone people use when they're about to gaslight you. You introduced a new partner without proper vetting, Reagan chimed in, trying to sound composed. You created a toxic dynamic. You mean like how you didn't vet Cruz with me? I asked. That's different, she snapped. Because your connection was organic, right? I said, quoting her own messages. While mine was planned, which makes it manipulative. Got it. You're not being compassionate, Cruz added. You weaponized the concept. I leaned against the doorframe. Tell me, Cruz, if I'm not allowed to have another partner, how is this not just plain cheating on her end? He flinched. This isn't fair, Reagan shouted, shoving past Cruz and trying to open the chain on the door. She's not a real partner. You're doing this to punish me. No, Reagan. You punished yourself. You thought I'd roll over and accept your new rules while you played house with your creative genius. Cruz stepped forward. All right, man. Now you're just being cruel. She's hurt. Then why is she here yelling on my doorstep and not at therapy? That shut him up. Reagan's face crumpled. And then, for the first time since this whole thing started, she cracked. I didn't mean for this to happen, she sobbed. Cruz was supposed to be fun, just an outlet. You were supposed to be my forever. I got confused. Cruz's jaw dropped. Wait, what? You told me you wanted to leave him. You said we were building something. Reagan turned on him like a rattlesnake. Oh, shut up, Cruz. You were the experiment. He recoiled. Wow. Okay. This is not what we talked about. She looked back at me, crying now. Real tears. Not rage, regret, or fear. I want us back, she whispered. No more Polly. No more Cruz. Just us. I didn't speak. She stepped forward, voice trembling. Please, tell me she's gone. I'll throw away every book, delete every article. I'll go to counseling. Just tell me Sam's gone. She's not gone, I said quietly. She never even stayed here. Reagan's breath caught. What? She played her part and left. She was never my real partner. She was a mirror, and what you saw scared you. That's cruel, she said, stunned. No, I said. That's clarity. You try to gaslight me into giving you the best of both worlds. But the moment you saw me take even one step toward equality, you lost your mind. She took another step forward. Where am I supposed to go? I assume Cruz has a couch. Or you can call your mom. You're evicting me? You were a guest. I'm asking that guest to leave. Her eyes narrowed. I'll fight this. I smiled. Feel free. I have screenshots. I have timelines. And I have the one thing you never had. A plan. I closed the door. Her scream echoed in the hallway. For the next 2 weeks, I didn't hear much. A few nasty texts here and there. A mutual friend sent a DM asking what the hell I'd done to Reagan, claiming she was devastated. I ignored it until I got the voicemail. Unknown number. Female voice. Older. Shaky. Nolan, it's Cheryl. Reagan's mom. Please call me. She collapsed. We're at Everett General. They say it might be stress-induced. She just keeps asking for you. Please. She needs you. I played it 3 times before deleting it. Stress collapse? After all this? Classic sick girl play. When all else fails, use your mother to pull the sympathy card. They tried gaslighting, guilt-tripping, moral superiority, even fake enlightenment. Now it was pale and tragic victim. I sent a single text. Sorry to hear. I hope her doctor's got a full relationship history. Her pickup time is still scheduled for Friday at 10 a.m. My friend Lexi will supervise. She never replied. Reagan didn't bring Cruz. She brought her mom, Cheryl. Reagan looked like she was cosplaying a Victorian ghost. Pale foundation, hair pulled back, wrapped in a beige cardigan like she'd stepped out a Lifetime movie. I'm so dizzy, she whispered, stepping into the condo. Cheryl scowled at me, like I'd personally push her daughter down the stairs. You could show some compassion. I said. Lexi has the inventory list. Take what's yours. Let's wrap this up. Lexi, a 5 feet 11 inches ex-Marine and fellow logistics manager, stood by the door holding a clipboard and wearing aviators inside. She didn't say a word, just gave a nod. Reagan moved slow, real slow, sighing every few seconds. Cheryl picked up most of the bags. Then she spotted them. The mugs. A set of 4 handcrafted ceramic mugs we'd bought from a local artist 2 years ago on a road trip to Portland. Each one represented a season. We used to joke that they were our timeline. I'm taking those, Reagan said suddenly, pointing at the shelf. No, you're not. Her head snapped toward me. The sick act slipped just a little. We bought them together. Yes, I said, walking to the shelf. Which is why we'll split them. I picked up spring and summer and held them in my hands. I pushed fall and winter toward her. You can have the cold seasons, I said. Fair is fair. The symbolism was too much. Her face twisted. You're a psychopath, she whispered. You know that? Cold. Heartless. Psychopath. I'm a planner, I said. And the project failed. So now I'm reallocating resources. She grabbed her 2 mugs and shoved them into a box. I heard one crack. Cheryl muttered something under her breath. Lexi checked a box on her clipboard. I hope your bed feels empty, Reagan hissed. It won't, I said. Not once you're finally gone. 2 weeks later, I got served. Reagan was taking me to small claims court for $1,750 for unlawful eviction, intentional emotional distress, property theft, and, I kid you not, devaluation of poly identity. She even claimed the 2 mugs were art pieces worth $500 each. Court was scheduled 2 weeks out. I showed up alone, in a clean suit with a folder full of printouts. She arrived with a dramatic black shawl and a handwritten speech. Your Honor, she said, this man destroyed me. I opened my heart to him. I tried to bring him into a more loving, inclusive world. He responded by mocking me, by throwing in my face, by inviting a stranger into our home just to torment me. I collapsed from stress. I'm under medical care. This was malicious. And those mugs? They're irreplaceable art. He stole them. The judge, a woman in her late 50s, looked from Reagan to me. Nolan, she said, your response? Thank you, Your Honor, I said, standing calmly. Reagan and I were in a monogamous relationship for 4 years. She then informed me, without warning, that she was in a polyamorous relationship with Cruz, her co-worker. She insisted I accept this new lifestyle immediately. I handed over the screenshots. She said I was being possessive for objecting. She told me I had to learn and adapt. So I did. I met someone. I followed her exact instructions. When I brought that person home, Reagan became enraged. She shouted. She threatened. She left. The judge skimmed the messages. Her eyebrows raised. As for the eviction, I continued. Reagan was never on the lease. She paid no rent. She was a guest in my home. When she chose to share emotional and physical intimacy with someone else, I revoked that guest status. I gave her 24 hours to schedule a pickup. She complied. And the mugs? The judge asked. A set of 4. 2 were given to her. 2 were kept by me. It was a clean 50-50 split. The judge stared at Reagan. Ma'am, she said slowly, you can't enforce a poly relationship where only one partner is allowed multiple partners. That's not polyamory. That's manipulation. And as a guest, you had no legal standing in that condo. This court is not your personal emotional tribunal. Case dismissed. Reagan gasped, like someone had punched her in the stomach. But Your Honor. The judge held up her hand. We're done here. Outside, she tried to corner me in the parking lot. I didn't stop. She shouted after me. You think you won, Nolan? You think you're better now? I turned just once. No, I think I finally stopped losing. It's been 8 weeks since the judge dismissed her case, but the story didn't end there. Not exactly. The real ending? That came later, when the dust settled, and every consequence Reagan thought she could outrun finally landed. Let me walk you through the epilogue. A mutual acquaintance told me that 2 days after court, Cruz ended things. Word for word, he told her, you don't know what you want, and I'm not getting dragged into another drama storm. He moved on, probably to someone less free-spirited and more emotionally stable. The rumor is he even blocked her on everything. She tried to spin it like she dumped him. Nobody bought it. Apparently, when Reagan tried to crash his apartment one night, crying about being misunderstood, he told her to get therapy. She still works at the same marketing firm in Everett. With Cruz. Can you imagine? The woman who claimed they had spiritual synergy now has to pass him in the hallway, knowing he publicly blamed her for their implosion. From what I've heard, she's on thin ice. 2 other co-workers found out about their affair and filed complaints about hostile energy. HR had to intervene. So much for a passion-fueled professional renaissance. After everything, I decided to sell the condo. It wasn't about the space, it was about the memory. Every corner reminded me of the person I thought Reagan was and the lie I built my life around. I moved into a sleek apartment across town. Smaller but cleaner. New furniture. New atmosphere. Nothing she touched. I even replaced the couch. It felt symbolic. Sam and I grabbed dinner 2 weeks ago. I took her to a rooftop steakhouse and handed her a gift-wrapped mug with radical honesty etched in gold lettering. She opened it and laughed so hard she cried. We're not dating. Never were. But she's the kind of friend you keep forever. We still text weekly. Sometimes I'll send her random quotes like, hey, feeling a little possessive today. Is that okay, anchor baby? And she'll reply, only if our cuddle puddle is still on for Friday. Legend. Her last message came in a few days ago, after silence for over a month. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. I was scared. I didn't handle things right. I hope you're doing well. I didn't respond. Not out of bitterness. Just clarity. There was a time I would have dropped everything to forgive her. But that time is gone. The man who sat on that couch stunned by betrayal isn't here anymore. He evolved. Just not in the way Reagan expected. Oh yeah, I still have spring and summer. Bright, hopeful colors. They sit on a shelf in my kitchen next to a fresh succulent that's somehow still alive. Something Reagan never managed to keep going. The other 2? Fall and winter? One of them cracked during her rage pack. The other got left behind when Cheryl forgot to grab the last box from a porch. I found it 3 days later. Broken handle. Dull glaze. Tossed it out without a second thought. I'm not angry anymore. Not even hurt. I just know better now. When someone tells you they've changed the rules mid-game, don't play harder. Just walk off the field. If you like the story, drop a comment with your city or a wild twist you didn't see coming. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got more stories like this coming soon.